The government has announced that the 2023 TPS designation for Venezuela has been terminated. What does this mean and who does it exactly affect? Hello, everyone. This is Andre McKinney Dorval, licensed immigration attorney. In this video, we're talking about the latest news announced by the government that TPS for Venezuela for the 2023 designation has been terminated. Guys, in order for us to dive into what all this means, I am going to share my screen and I'm going to share with you a timeline, if you will, of TPS for Venezuela. Now, on my screen is a sheet here that has dates. Now, we're going to go over these dates because they're important to understand what happened and how we arrive where we are. Now, back in March of 2021, Venezuela was designated with TPS status for the Venezuelan citizens and nationals who were here in the U.S. In September of 2022, again under the Biden administration, the 2021 TPS designation was extended for 18 months. Fast forward to October 2023, the Biden administration once more extended the 2021 TPS designation for another 18 months. But what they also did was they redesignated Venezuela for TPS for 18 months. The effect of them redesignating Venezuela for TPS for 18 months is that it allowed more Venezuelan nationals to apply for TPS, those who did not either meet the deadline in 2021 or those who otherwise may not have been in the country to apply for the 2021 TPS designation. Now, last month, before the Biden administration left office on January 10th, Secretary Mayorkas, he announced that he was extending the 2023 designation of Venezuela for TPS for 18 months. That would begin on April 3rd of 2025, and it would also end on October 2nd of 2026. Now, what happened is that on January 28th of 2025, we now have a new administration, and under the new administration, they rescinded the January 10th, 2025 TPS extensions for Venezuela, and those extensions include the extension for 2021 TPS holders and extensions for the 2023 TPS holders for Venezuela. On February 1st, the new Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, effectively announced the termination of the 2023 TPS designation. So what does this all mean? This means that the individuals who received TPS for Venezuela based on the redesignation that was announced back in October of 2023, that TPS for those TPS holders is terminated. Now, the termination announced by the administration does not affect the TPS for the 2021 TPS holders. Now, I'm going to stop sharing this screen and I'm going to share with you. Now, guys, I'm sharing with you at this time. This is really briefly, this is a draft notice that will be published on February 5th in the Federal Registry. if you see up top here, this document is scheduled to be published in the Federal Registry on February 5th, 2025. This is an unpublished copy, but they do provide it for individuals to see what the notice will state. And I just want to scroll down and just share a little bit with you. And so this notice by Secretary Noem, in essence, basically states that after reviewing country conditions and considering whether permitting Venezuelan nationals covered by the 2023 designation is contrary to national interests of the United States, the Secretary of Homeland Security has determined that Venezuela no longer meets the conditions for the 2023 designation. Now, it goes on to state that, and I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. It goes on to state after, and this will be after the date that it's published, if it's published on February 5th, after that date, 60 days after the date of the publication, nationals of Venezuela who have been granted TPS under the 2023 Venezuelan designation will no longer have TPS. Guys, this applies to individuals with TPS from Venezuela under the 2023 designation. This notice also states that this determination does not apply to the 2021 designation of Venezuela for TPS, which remains in effect until September 10th, 2025, or to individuals who are registered for TPS under the 2021 designation. So guys, the announcement that the government has made today, it only applies to individuals who have been granted temporary protective status under the 2023 designation for Venezuela. Now, if you are someone that is impacted by this, what are some of the things that you can expect from this termination? Well, first off, when TPS has been terminated, TPS holders, they return to the immigration status that they held before receiving TPS. Now, that means if you were undocumented, meaning you entered the country without inspection, you are potentially at risk of deportation or removal proceedings if you do not have another form of lawful status. It also means that anyone with TPS based upon the 2023 designation, you will no longer be eligible to work once the TPS ends. If you are someone that is at risk of not having another form of status or work authorization being terminated, you do want to make sure that you speak to a licensed immigration attorney to go over your particular immigration matter. I also want to share with individuals who have TPS under the 2021 designation for Venezuela. Now, your TPS is still in effect until September 10th of 2025. Now, some things that you should know. The government must determine by July 12th, 2025, whether they are going to extend or terminate the 2021 Venezuela TPS designation. And so while we are in February, there is still more time before we arrive at July. But if you are someone who has a 2021 TPS designation that will be expiring on September 10th, 2025, you are encouraged to speak to a licensed immigration attorney to determine what what other benefits you may qualify for based on your particular immigration matter. Guys, this video was intended for informational purposes only. Again, the notification made by the government as to terminating TPS for Venezuela, it only applies to those who have TPS under the 2023 designation. Guys, thank you for tuning into this video. Again, if you are at risk of anything we discussed here today, please be sure to speak with an attorney. Thank you for tuning in, guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.